Are you ready to conquer Universal Studios Hollywood? I am here today to give you my 23 first-timer beginner tips for anyone going to this incredible West Coast theme park. You know how I like to do it? Let's just jump right in. Tip number 1 is to buy your tickets in advance. While it is always an option to show up to the theme park the day of and buy admission right there, this is not your best bet for a couple of reasons. First of all, you will end up spending more money on your actual ticket price because when you purchase your tickets online, it would allow you to find the top-notch deals and the best price possible on not only Universal's website, but on discounted websites such as Groupon. And yes, I did say Groupon because they do offer tickets to Universal Studios Hollywood. Tip number 2 is to pick the perfect day to go. And just like any other amusement park, there are days when Universal Studios Hollywood is almost guaranteed to be completely packed with people. I have a whole theme park crowd calendar for Universal Studios Hollywood over on ThemeParkHipster.com, and I'll be sure to link it below. And I do understand that there are times when you and your group can only go on certain days. And as a general rule, some of the busiest times at Universal Studios Hollywood are spring break, many of the holidays, especially if they're on a Monday, the 4th of July, pretty much all of summer, and the week of Christmas, and a little bit right after Christmas, as people are still kind of in that vacation mode. Tip number 3 is to start your day early. I will never not have this tip on any of my videos. The earlier you get to the park, the closer to the front of the admissions line you will be, and the quicker you'll be able to start your day ahead of the crowds, especially if you want to discover the new Super Nintendo Land at Universal Studios Hollywood. This will allow you to get to that bottom level, the lower lot at Universal Studios Hollywood, knock out all of those rides first, and then make your way up to the upper lot. Tip number 4 is to purchase the Universal Express Pass. This is very important for this theme park because it will save you a lot of time and allow you to make the most out of your day, especially if this is going to be your one and only trip to Universal Studios Hollywood. It's just like the Express Pass at the Universal Orlando Resort parks, where you pay for, quote unquote, a skip the line pass, and it allows you to skip the line to certain attractions and reduce your wait time. Tip number 5 is to bring what you can. You cannot take anything you want into the park, obviously, but you should take advantage of what you can actually bring with you. You are allowed to bring bottled water with you, baby food if you have someone smaller in your group, small snacks. I like taking these items with me because they save me time, they save me money because I don't have to buy as much theme park food while I'm there, and I can get a little sip of water while I'm waiting in line. I can multitask. Tip number 6 is use the single rider line. This is not only for my solo travelers out there, but if you are with a smaller party and you guys don't mind splitting up, you can get into the single rider line to get to see the attraction faster. Just know that if you are with someone and you're not on a solo trip, that you guys will split up because you will be filling in the empty seat of another party. Currently, the single rider lines at Universal Studios Hollywood are Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, Jurassic World the Ride, Revenge of the Mummy the Ride, Transformers the Ride 3D, and Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. Just know that these lines can change at any time. Tip number 7 is to eat at weird times. Now, if you are eating your meals in the park, whether it is all 3 meals of the day or just one, you want to consider eating on the off times, and this can save you a lot of time in a couple of ways. When you eat at a weird time, you will not have to stand in a long line as you get your food. Sometimes the lunch rush lines at the most popular spots can be just as bad as the ride lines. Additionally, you will want to spend normal meal times riding the rides, and the lines will be shorter for you while everyone's having their lunch or dinner. Tip number 8, which is my favorite, is to book that VIP experience. Now, if you really want to get the most out of your time at Universal Studios and you have the money for it, you absolutely have to book that VIP tour. It is the best VIP tour I have ever been on at a theme park. You will not only get a personal tour guide to take you around the park, but they will take you in front of the lines of all of the attractions and front seat to the shows or designated seated areas for the shows. And on top of that, they serve you breakfast and lunch, and that lunch is the best theme park food I have ever had. The lunch was the highlight of my whole day. I can't believe they were serving us this incredible food. And while we were eating, they had the famous I Love Lucy character walking around and Dracula just coming, talking to us while we're eating. So I'm sitting down, getting ready for the tour. And of course you saw all of the delicious breakfast out there. And now I chose the smoked salmon croissant, and it is so good. It's very refreshing. It's a cold day, but it is really good. And yeah, we're ready to get started. We have our VIP guy. His name is Owen, and already he has introduced himself and just asked us what we look forward to, and that made me excited because you come all the way out here, and just to know somebody wants to kind of help you out and make sure that they don't miss something on the tour for you. So that's a great start. So we'll see how it goes. When you do the VIP tour and you go on the Backlot tour, you get to actually get out of your tram, walk around. And I actually came on the opening weekend of the new Super Nintendo Land, and we were able to skip the line. The only types of group that was able to skip the line for opening weekend were VIP tours. Not even Express Pass could skip the line. But hey, it's nothing like a VIP tour. You have to do it. We are here and we're on the War of the Worlds set, and it has been just a great experience here at Universal Studios Hollywood. And this whole VIP experience has been very insightful, and it definitely has been worth the money. And one of the things that I like about it versus the one in Universal Orlando Resort is that it's included in your ticket admission. So definitely, if you can, just do this because you get to see a lot of things up close, and it's all included. Tip number 9 is to take a break and get more done. Now, people who want to do a theme park in a day, or who just want to make the most out of a single day, usually want to get to the park before it opens and stays until it closes. This is a great strategy. But believe it or not, you may want to consider taking a break in the middle of the day when the crowd is the busiest, or it may be the most hottest part of the day. But hey, if you're like, nah, Nikki, I'm just trying to get through this whole day, don't take your break. Tip number 10 is to get the app and use the app. And not only get the app, but download it before you get to the park so you can get familiar with the lay of the land for that app. With this app, you can do a lot of different things. A few of the most helpful is the ability to plan out your own itinerary, stay up to date with the latest wait times, access the park map, and so much more. You can even make your virtual line passes for any attractions that require it through the app. So definitely play around with the app before you get there. Tip number 11 is that if you're taking the kids, then to take advantage of the child swap program. This program allows one parent or group of adults to wait with a child that is too short or cannot ride a ride for some other reason. The adults can then switch out and not have to wait in the line all over again. Of course, there are plenty of things that you can do with your little ones, but sometimes there are rides you want to ride, even if your kids can't or won't. Tip number 12 is to complete one section at a time. Now, if you are not familiar with the Universal Studios Hollywood theme park, there are 2 areas. One is the lower lot, and 2 is the upper lot. In general, I just recommend that you start with the lower lot before it gets too busy. But the main goal is to just complete one lot before starting the other. That way you can maximize your time, and they're not so big and overwhelming like some of the parks here in Florida. Tip number 13 is to explore the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Now, Universal has done a spectacular job bringing the novels of J.K. Rowling to life. And as you approach the "Please respect the spells limit" Hogsmeade sign, you feel like you have officially made it home. You do not want to miss out on all of the amazing fun that the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is known for, because this can be one of the busiest parks of the park. So it's a good idea to do the rides in this section in the morning before the afternoon crowd gets in. And you don't want to miss out on getting on that castle ride that's called Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. You want to get your wand from Ollivanders. You want to ride the Flight of the Hippogriff. You want to enjoy breakfast at the Three Broomsticks. You want to have your delicious cup of butter beer, go shopping, enjoy the entertainment, and just enjoy the ambiance of being in this magical section of the theme park. Tip number 14 is don't forget those large group discounts. Now, a solo trip to Universal Studios Hollywood is what I'm all about here at Theme Park Hipster, but going to Universal with all your friends or family can also be fun as well, and it can actually save you money. The park does offer discounts for parties of 10 or more, and it's worth calling up the park to see if they have any available deals for larger parties. Tip number 15 is to go on the world famous studio tour. You absolutely have to do this. This is what this park is known for and what it was built around. And sometimes people skip out on the studio tour because it is time consuming, but it is an absolute must do, especially if this is your first time going to Universal Studios Hollywood. The whole tour is packed with movie magic that will leave you quite happy. It adds magic to this classic studio vibe at this park. Plus, it's a nice break to rest your feet in case you don't have a hotel to go back to in the middle of the day to take your break, since it lasts almost an hour on this entire attraction. So what can you expect on the studio tour? On this real Hollywood set, which has had films and TV shows, you'll get to visit the 13th city block on 4 acres of this historic studio lot. You'll also get to come face to face with Norman Bates himself. You'll see the destruction left behind from War of the Worlds. You'll see the shark-inspired film set of Jaws, and you'll see the monstrous King Kong and so much more here. Tip number 16 is to take a snapshot of where you parked. Now, this next tip is known by most theme park regulars, but it is very important, especially if you do not have a photographic memory. When you park, take that picture of the section of the sign. Even if you think, I will remember, don't do it. Just take that photo. You don't have to be a superhero here. Tip number 17 is to save shopping until the end of your visit. Now, if you are getting souvenirs, buy them at the end of your trip. This way, you do not have to carry them around the park with you, and you can save time by just entering the shops, as sometimes they'll start to empty out towards the end of the day. Tip number 18 is to share food so that you can try more food. Now, there is so much delicious food at Universal Studios. Oh my goodness. This is one of the theme parks that have the best food of all the theme parks in America. And not just inside the park, but also in City Walk as well. So just make it your own little foodie tour. Try to get one thing from each location, share it with a friend, something small, so that you guys can create your own little itinerary, a food festival at Universal, and then you can end the day by having a nice dinner in City Walk. Tip number 19. Now, this might be controversial, but I say get photos, not signatures. I love all of the characters at Universal Studios Hollywood. They have a lot of the classic Universal monsters walking around, and I just rather get a photo with them, a video with them. I'm not really trying to ask for an autograph. You can, but I think photos are a better souvenir. That's just my personal opinion. Tip number 20 is to know how to conquer your Universal Studios day with the perfect itinerary. And you may be asking if it's even possible to do it in one day. And I say yes, to an extent. If you have a plan, if you start early and you stay till the end of the park, you could possibly do it all in one day. And this is how I would do it. I would arrive early. I would enjoy all of the attractions on the lower lot. I would then go back up and discover the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And then while I'm in the upper lot, I would do all of the attractions there. I would then go to have lunch in Springfield. I would do the studio tour. Then I would watch some of the shows I may have missed. I would go meet the characters, get my photos. I would then take this time to redo any of my favorite rides or attractions. I do some shopping, and then I end my day with dinner at City Walk. See, that was a great plan. You can do that. Tip number 21 is to do the must-do rides. And Universal Studios Hollywood has some of the top-notch theme park attractions in the whole country. And some of the best things to do at Universal Studios Hollywood are the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey ride, Jurassic World the ride, Revenge of the Mummy the ride, The Secret Life of Pets Unleashed, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, The Simpsons ride, the world-famous studio tour, and Transformers The Ride 3D. Tip number 22 is to go solo. Now, you know I had to drop that tip in just for you. If you have never thought about going to a theme park alone, then Universal Studios Hollywood should be one of the parks you consider making that solo trek. Why go solo? Going solo always allows you to do Universal your way, and this is the main perk for going to the parks alone. Plus, you can take advantage of the single rider line, making it one of my favorite tips for this theme park. Tip number 23 is to have fun. Your Universal Studios Hollywood trip will be what you make it, so please try to enjoy yourself. Sometimes the unexpected or annoying points of your vacation makes for the best memories, and stories. And until next time, happy park hopping hipsters.